So, do you think that like a female that's like a streetwalker, I'm gonna be respectful, like a streetwalker, Harry Hines worker, prostitute.
Mm-hmm. Call it what it is.
Like I told somebody, like even though she may have sex with 5, maybe 10 dudes a day, at the end of the night, she want to be loved.
She do.
She do.
I do.
She do.
I agree.
I agree.
He told me no,
She's still human.
that if she wanted to be loved, but I'm like, bro, it's about the money. No. But at the end of the day, I feel like every woman want to be loved.
That's right. Everybody want love.
I had a conversation with a sex therapist before, and the sex therapist specifically said that we, as individuals, as humans, we give the whole, title when it's really just they're sexually fluent. They detach themselves from their body and their emotions in order to be done what it need done. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Hoes make the best house.
It makes them sexually fluent. So it means that, they don't look at body count. They just kind of look at, wherever the wind go.
That's why
we're the one who gives it, we give it a title. They don't give it a title. So it's like, why can't men be hoes if they're sexually fluent? Like, literally, I had my son at 18. I was pregnant at 17. The guy that I thought that was my dad, we're not going to get into that conversation. Just listen to what I'm saying. Go to the story. He literally praised my brother and told him, he's supposed to knock down every female that he can. But then turned around and told me that I was pretty much a hoe. And I was dating one guy. The same guy that I had my oldest son with was the same guy that took my virginity. He was my boyfriend throughout high school. Yeah, we broke up and I probably dated other people, but I had sex with nobody else but him. Basically called me a hoe. So it's like men are praised to be sexually fluent.
And when I grew up,
and women are looked at as hoes for doing the exact same thing that men are praised for. So,
but I got a saying. I say most dudes that call women hoes, you ain't never fuck her, so how you know she a hoe?
Yeah.
If you ain't never get her,
exactly.
Cause you call her hoe, that means you fucking with her. So evidently you liked her somehow, some way,
or something that you liked about her.
Something that you liked about her.
Or it's just jealousy.
I think it's different definitions of it.
No, it's not a such thing as a hoe. Let's not do that when it comes down to women.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Yeah. You have to understand a woman's background, and a whole lot has to do with the way they were raised. Ultimately, sometimes there's trauma connected with that. And so that's why you should not call a woman a hoe, because at the end of the day, she's a woman. She's somebody's mother. She's somebody's sister. And then, come on, guys, we black. We need to uplift. You get what I'm saying?
We the only ones that really
each other. We need to do that.
We are.
And that's who we look up to do it, though. We look up to the guys.
But I feel like, most dudes
that a bad thing, though?
What?
Most dudes that call chick hoes, they ain't never did.
Like a woman exploring her body. Like you said, or men, it's like, why they got to be wrong?
It's not wrong. It's not what you do. It's how you do it.
Exactly. I don't feel like it's wrong because most women actually idolize doing certain things. Like, just to be transparent, I've never had a threesome. In my head, I was like, damn, that sounds like it'd be fun. But I've never done it before. So most women will stop themselves from doing certain things because of how society will view them. So it just, women that just don't give a damn. They just be like, I'm going to do what I want. This is not your body. I'm going to have fun and move that way. Like, shit, I want a sugar daddy. I can't get no sugar daddy because it requires things that I don't want to do. Right. So it's just, you got women that are just okay with certain things, and that doesn't mean that they're a hoe. Right. It just means they detach themselves from certain titles or certain feelings in order to move forward.
That's right.
So y'all don't think it's double standard? Y'all don't think double standard?
There is a double standard. It's men don't like when women do what they do.
Right.
And that's the problem. It's just like, why we can't detach our emotions? Why we can't walk around and be like, shit, I don't want to be in a relationship, but I do need a fuck buddy. Can we just figure out how this works? Why we can't do that? Like, I don't understand why we can't do that.
I can tell you why, because I'm old school women.
I've had a fuck buddy that fell in love, and I was just like, this is not what we doing. This is not the original agreement. Like, now I can't.
But I'm old school with it. I'll tell you why. Just like the great mother said, it's just things that men can do that women not ever supposed to do. Yeah. And one reason for that, you have to understand this. Regardless to what men do, we are women.
Yes.
And we must respect ourselves that way.
I agree.
And so regardless of what they're doing, it's not right. We understand it, but at the end of the day, we still are women. We're nurturers. We're mothers.
It,
right.
Because I have boys.
That's right.
I raised boys. So with that being said, why aren't the women raising the men to actually respect themselves the same way women are required to respect themselves? Because I make sure my son, I be like, I tell my son, books before
Absolutely.
Books before bitches.
But you gotta understand, that's not what our uncles.
Okay, but we're not talking about the uncles. We're not talking about the brothers.
You're talking about the single mother.
We're talking about me being the mother that pushed you out of my own womb.
I'm saying like when we go to school, you not there.
But see again,
it's our homeboys.
You talking about outside of the home. You're talking about influences outside of the home. You're not talking about directly from your parents. So directly, we are taught in society and as individuals, women are supposed to respect themselves.
Absolutely.
Why can that not be reflected on young men too?
Because that's not what's taught to us.
But see, again, you're creating the narrative. You're not sticking with it. You're creating the narrative was created for us women to respect ourselves. Why can't we change that trajectory and create that narrative for men to respect themselves too, as we're required to?
This just that's what's taught to us. Like I said, when it come to us as men, we not taught to settle down really to damn near.
I teach
30s,
my kids that. I tell my son, don't give your dick to no bitch.
What is going on? This is Can I Be Real podcast. Welcome back to another episode. I am your host, King Mozzie, legendary. Took where he usually across from me, but now, you know what I'm saying? He's literally my right hand man. Yeah. Dion D Motivator is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, we here, man. We live and direct, man. You know
we already got
we already into it, But before we get into it though, we gotta pay the bills. You know what I'm saying?
Pay the bills, bro.
These lights gotta stay on. You know what I'm saying? The water gotta get cut on. So we just want to give a shout out and just say that this show is being sponsored by HLP Credit Solution, man. If you need your credit fixed, man, holla at HLP Credit Solution, man. If your credit is already good, 750, they can get you funded anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000 within 24 to 48 hours.
There we go.
HLP Credit Solutions.
That's right.
Hit them up if you need your credit fixed. Hit them up if you need funding, man. They got you. Use the code CIBR and get a free consultation.
Boom.
Back to you, my boy.
Oh man, then we have so today we're doing a round table discussion, man. We be seeing the comments, everybody little round table discussions. It's a bunch of different perspectives. We have a very, very good conversation. We got a very, very group of people here today. So we're gonna give everybody a chance to go around the table. You know what I'm saying? Just give not like you do in church, or like at a funeral.
I watch it online.
You give your 2-minute introduction and you pass the mic.
You
know what I'm saying? We'll need no shout outs to, little Nook and all that. But we gonna start see right here, boom.
Man, I was always taught to start with ladies first.
Okay, boom. There you go.
I'm gonna pass that shit back. I'm gonna start with you. Because he started directly with you. If you don't, this ain't your show.
It's a gentleman. This
ain't your show. Double standards. Start with
you. So look, I'm Eric Grayson, one of the owners of Five Bistro, one of the co-creators of Art Overdose, and co-creator of Crown Holders Marketing Group. That's it for me. I'm gonna pass it to you, Tom.
Hey, I'm Tom, man. Ain't nothing special about me. I'm everybody's friend. Everybody's friend. So I'm cool with everybody. Good relationship with everybody. I don't meet a stranger. Go ahead to you.
I am Taylor Simone, little je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of everything, beauty, business, and branding. I'm multifaceted entrepreneur. I do a little speaking. I talk a little shit. I run little businesses and, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's what I do. You just got to follow me to see, because it's just too much to talk about in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Man, come on, let's get to the show.
Oh my God. Like, see, if you're a hater, just say that. I'll be at your business patronizing. Don't do that.
Hey, I put you on too. Come on. Hosted by Taylor Simone. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, on the couch.
Right. What's up, man? I'm Mario Hall, and I'm the host of The Drop on DFWI Radio. Man, I just, I do podcasts. I speak on domestic violence, activists, against gang and drug violence, Hey, man, I'm in here. I appreciate CIBR. Can I Be Real podcast for having me once again.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
It's your girl, Lady Red, co-host The Drop with Mr. Mario Howe. Very happy to be here. Appreciative, an entrepreneur. I also do stylist and a whole plethora of things. And so I'm with it. Let's do it.
Okay. Man, y'all gotta give me on the show.
This your boy D, the motivator. I write love novels. You can find me.
Come on, bro.
It's the voice. It's the voice. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Ken Gray.
You know what I'm saying?
So we do have a good conversation going on today. Yeah. We're gonna have some great topics going on. So some stuff that pretty much everybody can touch on, have dealt with. For me, from my perspective, I'm here to get as much game as possible. Considering it's just the facts. I think I'm the youngest here. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to.
It's me.
But so anyway, so when we having a conversation, it's gonna get like a little crazy. Everybody gonna have that debate, but if we can try not to overtalk everybody, because we don't want it to be like no crazy mess. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it, man. Dion, it's on you, brother.
Hey, man, look, man. So
we
off camera we was talking, right? And I just want to bring this question up again. So I asked, how can you healthy date and not have sex in 2025? How can you meet somebody, enjoy their company, like they vibe, go on 4-5 dates, and expect no sexual activity to happen?
It's called the rose.
It's kind of hard, man.
It's called staying focused.
Yes, it's called
you gotta stay
having
focused.
self-control.
But think about it.
Men don't have self-control.
If I invest 3 months into dating you, taking you out, spending money on you, I'm talking about the whole 9, whatever it is you want, right? And then I find out that the sex trash. I wasted my time.
That's real though.
But why does
it was a chance? It was a chance that you had to take.
4 months into waiting on it.
Let me say this.
You have to ask yourself why it was trash.
You can teach a woman how to have sex with you. You know that, right?
Yeah, but it's hard to teach if she's 40 already.
Anybody that is having sex nowadays, you were taught that from your prior sexual partners. We didn't know how to have sex before we were having sex, okay?
The real way to have sex is just about the emotion of it. That's why you're not supposed to be doing it. Exactly. Right. You're not supposed to be doing it with just anybody. You're supposed to have some type of connection. And it goes back to what you asked in reference to dating. If you date, you can communicate and you'll learn a little bit more of what you needed to know before you.
So you saying it's gonna make the intimacy way more better?
That's right.
Talk to her during sex, baby. No, don't use your teeth. Use your tongue. just talk to her.
Man, I agree with you. Saying you gonna teach your person.
Your back ain't arched enough. Throw it back a little bit more. Talk to her.
But some people, they don't wanna expand and open their mind and try new things. They used to the traditional way.
Okay, well, that's not like a you problem.
Let me add this question, all right? So you getting ready to go to war? Do you want an experienced vet by your side during wartime, or you want somebody that's new to war?
They fall in love more when you got to teach them some things. I just want to let you know that.
I mean, at this big age, I think everybody getting an experienced vet at this point.
Exactly.
I think everybody pound a pretty season.
but we was talking about for the kids though. You see them?
Yeah.
We talking about for the kids.
So for the kids, I think it's a little bit different. So it's a lot more understanding. It's a lot more getting to know you. It's a lot more like shoot.
They're not trying to. These YNs ain't trying to get to know each other.
But you also got to understand that you coming from a different type of lineage. Like if you start putting your stuff in me, or my son start putting his stuff in you,
right?
Hey, we kind of like, hey, it's a royalty that come with the grace and name. Like you getting 5 bistro, you getting art overdose.
Okay, so you're talking about yourself at this moment. You're not talking about like a regular person.
I see what you're saying because you building up. It's what I'm building up. I can't have nobody come and ruin that.
Yeah, that's like Bronny James. He goes, he go impregnate anybody. They get a piece of the church. They get rid of the James family.
Now I get that, but
I'll talk about lineage at that point.
So now you're getting into what the parent is teaching the kid, not what the kid is experiencing themselves.
Right.
Because now you're putting an expectation on the child that you need to know who you are.
Exactly.
So that's not what he was saying. He was saying about kids just experiencing shit. And kids nowadays don't think like that. They just like, oh, you cute. Oh, you got that wet wavy in your hair.
That's absolutely correct. It's a learned behavior.
Because it's like at this point, like we at a different time where you don't even let any and everybody come to your house no more.
Right. But
so
think about it.
Learned behavior.
Think about yourself when you was a teenager. Did you listen to anything your parents said?
Mike Jones didn't play that. These boys play basketball.
I get that.
Everybody could come over.
Okay, so you're an anomaly. You're an anomaly. What about everybody else?
So I grew up, I single parent household. I had uncles, and like you said, we were taught that uncles taught me, to get something. Back in our day,
to get some,
we were getting some. I have a 14-year-old son now. I make him everybody's your friend. We don't do the girlfriend thing. You have to.
That's the key.
You play sports. You don't have time.
But why you don't do the girlfriend thing? Tell them why you don't do that.
Because you got a lot you riding on right now.
Right.
You got some stuff to focus on.
You got some stuff to focus on.
But I understand.
We didn't grow up though. Me and you, all of us, we didn't grow up on social media.
No, but the thing about it is that me and my son talk. We have. Like my son, like he gets to that, but he's 14. He gets to that. Why y'all talking to me? Because me and my wife, we sit down at the table and talk. We eat dinner at the table. And we will have conversations about just what new girl you talk to. And my son is one of them people, if he talking to a girl, I see how long she gonna last. Me and my wife, we take a bet. To see how long she gonna last.
But you don't let your son just talk to everybody because the investment you done made, though. Be honest.
And I do tell him, like, you sacrifice a lot to, that's why you make everybody your friend, because once you start to kissing and touching and hugging, now you're bringing on a different type of person. You don't know how that person in their household is raised. That's what I tell them about the girls now that he talked to. Like, she just want to argue. And I had to explain to him that in her house, her mom and daddy probably argue all day.
Right, so she think that's a love language.
And that's a love language for her. But for us, you see me and your mom, we have fun, we laugh, we kiss in front of y'all, we do it again. Because we've been together, so long, and I'm trying to show you this is what love,
a healthy relationship,
a healthy love look like. Because I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up to see a man in the house just a stable man, or just around. I had coaches and everything, and they were married. But everything that I see, I got this from people I've been around. That's why I say, even to now, I watch who I keep around me.
Right.
Like, I don't let everybody have access,
access tonight. Everybody shouldn't have. I tell my son the same thing. So your friends is not your friends.
No, because you don't know how they grew up in their house. They mama let them talk back and smoke in the house.
And your mama is gonna punch you in real hard in your chest.
Clean your damn room up. And if I tell you the first time, I'm gonna be nice. The second time, I ain't gonna be nice.
That's right.
Because I said clean the damn room up. But somebody else's house, they don't have rules.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this then. So, how much of y'all personal life, or I would say y'all upbringing, because everybody talk about their different upbringings,
right?
But moving forward in today's time with social media and all these things, does that change the parenting style in y'all eyes, or how does that differ? How do y'all? Because like you said,
you gotta adjust.
We all grew up like you. I'm like, bro, my uncle's girl walking down the street. Go talk to her. And if you don't, man, you scared. You scared of that. What they used to, you know what I'm saying? You scared of that cat.
That's peer pressure.
It's like, boy, you scared of that cat. But you got to think, though, you got 12-year-old boys being told they scared of some cat. For real. And now you get online. You get online, and all they see is cat being thrown in their face. Right. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
So, that's what I'm saying. For me, my upbringing, I respect the fact of how I was brought up, but, I still kind of hold on to some of that stuff,
I do
though.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's that's what got us here today, though. Because even though our uncles gave us that bad advice is what made us who we are today.
Right.
I feel like, us in our generation, that a lot of the things that we were taught, we subconsciously, like you said, we hold on to. So like me, I grew up in a household where I was raised by my stepdad and my mom. My stepdad and my mom got divorced, but they still remain the best of friends. So even though I'm divorced, I'm still the best of friends with my ex-husband. Same thing on my ex-husband's side. His mom and his stepdad got divorced. They remain the best of friends. So I feel like some of the things that we see growing up, we unknowingly mimic in our adult lives, and then we try to correct certain things with our children. Because I know that's what I do with my kids. Right. I try to make sure that they understand. I try to have conversations with them because my sex talk was sex feels good, but don't do it. Still ended up pregnant at 17. So I think that the parents now, like all of us, we are having more conversations and beating it in our kids' heads like, okay, this is how you should conduct yourselves. And we're trying to steer the kids because social media is a big part of a lot of these kids' life. Yeah. We're trying to steer them from social media in order for them to see reality. So that's just how I feel. I don't know if y'all feel any different.
No, I feel the same.
But you know, when I was coming up,
how do y'all do that? Like so social media is a big part.
I forgot you ain't got no kids.
Yeah. Oh,
you got a daughter. Yeah.
I don't have no kids.
You don't have no kids, E?
Nah.
What? I would have thought you would have had a little crown hole, baby.
But that's everybody else. Everybody else.
You was a teacher. You got all kind of kids.
Yeah, he's everybody else.
But I think seeing kids, like, even on seeing them now, like, it's different. Like, they renegade. You know what I'm saying? They don't listen to older people, not like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Listen
like
in your household, it's like a male and a female that's really present in the kid's life. Like you said, like social media, Twitter is crazy.
You don't need both parents.
Right, so let's take it there.
I think my man had. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah. Oh man, I just patiently wait, man.
Go ahead. You had something good to say.
I'm aware that I'm a little bit older. You know what I mean? Like I'm born in 77.
You're not older. You just seasoned.
And the reason I say that is because we had the terminology called the birds and the bees. I don't know if they use that terminology anymore.
They don't.
Right. See, back in the day, the generation I was under, they say, hey, come here, let me sit you down. I'm going to teach you about the birds and the bees. And I'm like, what that mean? You see what I'm saying? Right. But now this generation, they have Pornhub. They have, X and all these social media porn sites. See what I'm saying? And that's what teaches them. Yeah. Think about it. A lot of parents back then, they was afraid to talk about certain things. You know what I mean? Just openly. It was taboo. Yeah. Homosexuality, all that play a role into your sex life, how you was raised and what you seen. Yeah. You know what I mean? The things that's open now is not taboo anymore. You know, it's normal. They done normalized being able to go on social media and see women twerking and gyrating.
But the thing about it is, why is there so many resources given to us? Like the best thing I've kind of heard from Tom and I heard from Dion, and when they talk about their kids, especially when it comes to sports, it's going dark. So I don't see them on their phones where they got all the access to go see these different things to appease these different type of pressures that come along. If you don't have that phone, you can't really see it unless you see it off your homeboy.
But I said, but we talking about earlier, like once you go to school, they not
you got access.
You
definitely got access.
So you got your parents telling you, damn, me and Keisha just rocked out yesterday behind the bleachers.
What age is going on? I asked.
It's now.
I ain't got no kids, so I don't know.
Okay, so from my experience, I didn't get my first rodeo until my junior year in high school. But I know 100% fact when I was in 6th grade, kids was already rocking out. My first time seeing a pregnant girl was she was in my 7th grade class.
What school you went to?
I was from the Grove, man. I went to Pleasant Grove Elementary School. I went to Pleasant Grove Elementary School. I went to Florence Middle School.
So they were getting in Florence.
Huh?
They were getting in Florence.
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all this, bro.
Florence crazy.
Like I'm gonna tell you this.
This the Grove though. This the hood. This is
I'm gonna tell you this though, Mike. I went to Zoom Walk, bro, and
Zoom Walk getting in like that.
Zoom Walk was horrible.
Girls were getting trains ran on them in 7th grade.
Zoom Walk was horrible. Are you okay?
Come on.
Girls was getting trained ran on them in elementary school.
And listen,
elementary school.
I do have to say though, because I think
they were fighting at Brown.
Our culture, I mean, just we all inner city kids. And we, back in the day, I know we was coming, those VR Troop, you was Virgin, all this. But you had so many kids that, like you said, it was frowned upon to be a virgin.
Exactly.
You just lied about it. Just to be cool.
But my thing is, how many kids have that wherewithal to understand that
they don't?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at it like this, right? So by the time you really come home, you really, for the most part, and this is just me as a parent too. By the time you get home from work and they get done doing their sports, whatever activity, you really probably got like an hour and a half, probably 2 hours with your kid. Before it's time for them to go to bed, they at school for at least 8 hours.
8 hours. So
they're getting 8 hours of a different doctrine from what we tell them. Yeah, we tell them, hey, you know what? Don't do this, don't do that, and this is why you shouldn't do this and that. But when they go to school, they kids are showing them, the peers are showing them everything that they think is like, damn.
You don't know what's going on in somebody's house.
You don't know.
Y'all said that's going on for 8 hours of the day.
This is the thing.
What school you went to?
I went to Kimball.
I know. Y'all went to Kimball, man.
But this is the thing.
Negativity.
This is why a village. This is why a village is so important. Because like me, my son. So my son's best friend is his Mimi, which is my son's biological dad's mother. Mm-hmm. So when I'm doing the most, because my son, he's right now during the summer, he's with his Mimi. And so I was like, when you coming home? He said, I'm gonna come home next week. I was like, so I read the text message, like, you don't love me? Like, you don't want to see me? And so his Mimi sometimes will come to me like, hey, stop. You're doing too much, because I don't want him to think that it's okay for a girl to come to him and say those type of things. I don't want him to think it's okay for a girl to be overly bearing on him and he think he has to submit to it. So she be like, give him a little freedom. And he even goes to his Mimi and he be like, do you tell my mama everything? And his Mimi be like, yeah, I do tell her everything. Anything pertaining to you that she needs to know, we communicate on the same page together. But she also corrects me as a mom because I parent my son in fear of his father. Yeah. I experienced his father at my son's age. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, fuck, I don't want my son to be out here fucking with multiple women, impregnating multiple women. I don't want my son out here hurting multiple women. I don't want my son jeopardizing his life. So I parent him sometimes out of fear because I knew who his father was.
But how many black households got that village though? That's just not even normalized no more. Everybody is on the island. Like one thing I do commend is because you said that you and your family, y'all still eat at the table together. That shit don't even exist like that no more.
To go back on that, like my son and my wife talk without me in the room, and my son will tell my wife certain things.
Right. Is your wife his biological mom?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then but me and my son also have, because when we go to practice, we'll talk and we'll have different conversations. But you know, it's some stuff that it stays between us as men.
Right. No, for sure, of course.
But stuff stays between them.
And that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
But then again. But then again, I do live in a predominantly white neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So just to go back on that, you see a different type of, woman out there. Just like you see the black girls out there. They black girls. They act. Some of them single. Some of them single parent households. Some of them got dads at home, but they're a little wild. The white girls are wild as well. But if you look at most of the white kids in the neighborhood,
watch out now.
That's a thin line.
They kind of teaching. They teach their daughters differently to nurture to a man, to date a man. And you see these kids being in 6th, 7th grade with boyfriend, and they do stuff as families. Like I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm going somewhere with somebody. I don't even like the little girl you talk to. I don't even know her. Right. I don't want to get to know her parents. I mean,
so when you talk about the white, the less melanated people, let's say. Teaching their daughters, are we getting into why our men like to date
I don't care who you date. People? I don't care who you date.
I don't know.
I'm one of the people.
That's a
I just see it now because of the fact that you see like little white girls now, they clinging on to these boys, black or white boy, they just cling on to them and man,
is that because
the culture is so exposed? Though,
yeah, so they be going. Like I said, man, my son played select baseball. We be having girlfriends at their games, and like, dog, you in middle school? What are you? As a parent, I wish the hell you would ask me, can I go pick?
But most of them be like stay-at-home moms. Most of the less melanated people, they be stay-at-home moms.
That's
so only thing they do is clean to their husband and their kids. They keep the family together.
Right.
They plan
I agree with
family vacations, all that kind of. We work, the lady work. You know what I'm saying? We all working. So by the time
one of the girls came up to me during my son's football game, I said, "Why are you talking to me?"
Exactly. I'm that parent. Like, man,
girl, you are not forever.
I don't play with kids. I don't talk to kids.
But how? You brought that up forever.
She came up to me. She said,
"So
I'm Caleb."
What y'all think about that movie Forever though? Because like, it's a lot of talk about that movie on Netflix. Forever, right?
I didn't watch it. I've never seen it.
You ain't seen it?
So spoiler alert. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
But it's a love story about a teenage couple, and when I watched that show, I watched it with my wife, and when we got done,
does it remind you of your household?
It does.
It remind too.
But like I was telling her though, some of that stuff it ain't real though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that teenage love, that ain't. I feel like that's a fairy tale that.
What you mean?
Not to everybody.
Not to everybody,
now.
Deon.
Not to everybody.
To me, my
Okay. So hold on.
Yeah.
I ain't seen.
I haven't
So what?
seen
So
it
what?
either.
So tell me why you say it ain't real.
Yeah. So what's
I
not
have.
real?
I'm saying it ain't real because in real life, bro, like
It's happening.
so how it could be real.
It is real.
It's
bro.
happening.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Okay, what's real?
I don't know anything about
Okay.
the show.
So
what is the show?
explain the show first.
It's about
Give the backstory.
young man and this girl. She come back to his school or town, whatever. But she got exposed for having a sex tape or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he likes the girl, but it's like a triangle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She likes the dude that she had the sex tape with, but she can't really like him because
That was
he
a sex tape.
exposed her.
Right.
But she
And he
really
like a
this
popular
dude.
basketball player.
She like this dude too, but this dude, he kind of on a,
This on Netflix?
he's on the weird side, but he's
Yeah.
a cool kid, but she just,
He ain't the star. He ain't the star.
he ain't that dude.
He on the bench. You know what I'm saying? But he got a good personality.
Yeah.
Come from a good home.
Yo.
Everything like that.
Yo.
So it's
I'm saying what's real to me. What's not real to me,
It's
bro,
real.
is the cat and mouse part about it all.
Man.
Bro, you
Oh,
think
no.
teenagers
So
really
why
that
is it-
diligent?
hold on.
That's the realest-
Bro, you
That's
think they really that
part.
diligent, bro?
You saying
That's
a
the
guy?
realest
You saying
part.
a man wouldn't be that diligent?
I'm saying as teenagers, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, please.
Okay, but
worse.
can I say something as adults though? How many men or women go after the popular one opposed to the one that's actually showing them what they need when it comes to a
Okay.
relationship?
The smart ones.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we
I
have
do
a lot
see.
of people. They'll be like, "Oh, well, this person is cool. They got I get these credentials."
Mhm.
But this one over here is the one that they overlook,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Well, you don't do this, you can't do that, but I'm showing you the love that you want while this person over here is hurting you."
Same conversation we had about the bad boy when we was coming up in school.
Yo,
What they doing now? And
y'all fakes.
they all had babies with them, and now they looking like,
And go on about their
and
business.
you looking at them like, man, you used to.
I'm glad I didn't make that move, man.
You wouldn't even look
What
at me.
T.I. say? What was that song with T.I.? What's his name?
Back then,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think yeah.
That might
Kids
John.
more.
yeah.
That my John.
Oh yeah, back then. too.
No, not back then.
No,
It
the
was
song
T.I.
B.O.B. and Kendrick
Yeah,
Lamar.
yeah.
Yeah,
Kendrick
B.O.B.
Lamar,
Kendrick
yeah.
Lamar. And it was the baby mama. She in high school. I wanted you. Now you got 3 kids, 3 different
Yep.
baby daddies, and your car don't work.
Yep.
Nah,
Mm.
man. It's like, no, I think it's real, man, because it's that cat
is
mouse,
real.
man, because
The cat mask is real because they showed one situation where she went to prom with the wrong dude,
Mhm.
and the little dude was over there beating himself up like, I gotta watch you go to prom. You going with him?
That's a
Yeah.
real
And we sitting here
situation, though.
talking. That's real situation.
That's a
That's
real
fake. That's
situation.
Then you turn around, you got a whole situation where the guy is developing himself to where after she hurts you, the dad is like, hey, son, I ain't telling you what to do, but when we go on this trip, you need to expose yourself. Like, hey,
Yeah.
get out here and you do you
Mhm.
unapologetically. So
Right.
it's like at
But
the end
then,
of the day,
yeah.
it goes on. It's a learning process.
But that's my thing,
That's
bro.
what
at the end of the
I-
day-
But bro, like,
at the
but
end
so
of the
I'm gonna
day-
show you this, though, bro. Once your daddy, bro, my daddy give me the green light.
Hold on.
Come on, bro.
Hold on, but D,
and he had the
but-
chance to do what he wanted.
But then his daddy did double back and say, your girl on this island, go get your girl.
He did.
Right.
He
She
did.
on this island, yo, you do
He
you.
did.
Okay.
He
But
did.
if you like her and she on this island, go get your girl, bro.
He did.
And
Because the daddy saw how
That's
you
a
was
cute
sitting there
love
crying
story.
your heart out. He's like,
nah, you gotta
Okay.
see,
it's
it's
good.
good.
He say
I'm
he
gonna
said he got to go
watch it.
through it.
Yeah.
The mom even
okay.
asked me, you ain't gonna go in there and say nothing to him. He was like, nah, he got to
Yeah,
go.
You gotta feel that.
And that's me now
Yeah.
with my son. Like my wife, he
That's
14. He about to go to high school. You telling him about these girls, and I'm like, he gotta figure it out. So we gonna have a talk before we step on the high school campus. Cause you know your kid. You
Yes.
know
Mm-hmm.
what they in and what they not in. And I know the company he keep around himself. Like we had a conversation the other day. I was talking to him the other day. We went to an awards assembly. He had the end of the year awards assembly. And I'm looking for, he got his little friends he always on the phone with. They go to the little harbor in Rockwall with. And I'm looking at my wife. I tell my wife, I said, hey, you realize that none of his friends, boys or girls, sitting up here getting an award but him?
Mm-hmm. I tell my son that.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude. So when we got in the car, I was like, dude, do you understand? So do you now understand why we so hard on you about grades, about everything else? I said, no, none of your friends, boys or girls in here,
They're not in the same caliber. as
getting
you.
nothing.
Yeah.
And we stressing you about straight A's. And he said, yeah, they call me a nerd and all this. I said, well, still at the end of the day, You worry about your age because we don't play that shit, bro.
So that leads me to my next question then for y'all. So with our backgrounds, right? And all of y'all are successful in y'all own rights, right? How big of a part does y'all background play with how y'all attack y'all business and the things y'all do today? Because like you can go through something traumatic and be like, dang, I don't want to try nothing new because last time I tried that, man, it put me on my back. You know what I'm saying? So it crippled people from really want to try something new. So we talking about these experiences, which sex being one of the, like, I feel, and me and Maz was talking about this the other day, is like one of the most, like, I think that bring the biggest energy, right? So with that, like, now y'all got big energy. We know we all went through those, like, but how big of a part does that play in y'all life today? Like, how y'all wake up in the morning, y'all daily routines, how y'all take y'all business. Like, how do y'all stay focused with those past experiences?
I'll tell you what, just as a mother myself, just watching my children grow. My babies are 17, twin boys. And just to be able to see that, for one, they're not afraid to communicate with me. They tell me everything. There's a lot of things that they will say, nah, I talked to my dad about that, which is cool. This is dad or whatever. But just to see overall people say, hey, you have some wonderful boys. Now, they're not nerds. They're not punks or anything like that. But I stay on them constantly. Every day when they walk through the door, they have to pass my office. And what I do is stop right here, pull out your grades. I want to see what what you've done today or whatever. And I make sure that they have a conversation with me before they just go upstairs to do whatever it is that they're going to do. And I do that every single day. And so that's how it plays a part. So when I'm not doing that, if I don't have opportunity to have that conversation with them, I'm bothered because I didn't do my part as a mother that day. I didn't see what was on their mind. I didn't see how they may have been feeling that day. And so that's how it plays a part on my end. And that's what keeps me successful once I communicate with my children that way and I know that they're fine and I can move on. And I just go harder.
Damn, I respect that.
I think for me, it's probably a little different. I've recently learned that I parent out of fear. Because my son, my youngest son, he has a perfect father. Like, I know people are like, nothing is perfect. He has a perfect father. He shows up. I can say, hey, he's getting on my nerves. He's going to come pick him up. Like, he has a perfect father. But my oldest son, I have to parent my two kids differently. My oldest son, I was actually with his father during the time the age that my son was in. So we met when we was 14. I got pregnant when I was 17, had my son when I was 18. We went our separate ways when I was like 20. So I've recently had to learn how to not parent out of fear. Like, I know who your father was at your age, and I don't want you to be like that. So for me, I try to have frequent conversations with my son. I try to be like, hey, like, who's your friends? This and that. Because at the end of the day, I'm only 18 years older than him. You know what I'm saying? And most people don't look at that. They're like, 18 years is a lot. It's really not. Like, my sister is 8 years older than me. 18 years is really not. Like, we go out and they think we're brother and sister because we look like we're brother and sister. So I've learned, like, with my son to try to be his friend and his parent at the same time. But I also bring in a lot of reinforcements because I know that I'm not secure enough as his parent to not flip my shit. Because when you start talking about a little girl.
How does that parenting style affect your business?
Honestly, it doesn't affect my business because one thing that I've learned is that kids indirectly see things and then they do them. They may not listen to you when you say it, but because they see it, they indirectly do it. So I'll tell my son something, he'd be like, I'm not doing that. And then I turn around and I see him like, look at you reselling some clothes. You look like you're a little entrepreneur. Look like you're doing some things that your mom would do. Look like you're creating content and you can do that in my business. So I've learned that I have to show my kids what they're doing. Like, I have to show my kids what I'm doing in order for them to pick up on what I want them to learn. Because me telling them, they're not going to listen because I feel like in teenage, just kids, period, it's programmed in them to not listen to their parents. We become
adolescents after a while.
It's programmed to not listen. So I just show them. So like when my son, when I go do certain things, I'll take him with me. He'd be like, oh, this is so cool. He's met some of the biggest people. And he's like, Mom, I didn't know you knew. Then I was like, I'm cool. I told you I was cool. You just didn't believe me. Like,
so we had that conversation.
Same thing with my son.
Right, I had to show you I was cool. I knew these people. You were like, Cap. Okay, come with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've realized I had to show them before speaking certain things.
So I would say, me and you had we was talking earlier before the show started about like basically like pretty much kids finding their way, especially when it comes to careers, business, stuff like that. It's crazy. I seen this post. This guy in Dubai. He said he had a conversation with a prince that was in Dubai. And the guy asked him, like, man, like, what are you teaching your kids to do when they leave? You know, like when they graduate school, college, high school, whatever. And he was like, man, I'm just, I'm letting them, try to find their way. And then the guy in Dubai laughed at him. He like, you let your kids pick what they do? Yeah. Like, you supposed to tell them, you supposed to train them up in the way that they should go. But
I agree with that, bro.
So with that, like, on that, how do y'all train y'all's kids for the future? How do y'all prep them for business, career?
If you look at, man, I follow, I'm gonna run what's his name, St. Brown, to play for the Detroit Lions, and they dad, he made a statement. He was like, this friend was like, man, John, you too hard on those boys. You make them do this, make them do that. You need to let them figure it out on their own. He said, no, I'm their daddy. I'll tell them what to do. He said, because you can't be, he said, we all won't, he said, you got to realize these kids didn't grow up like we did, where we all got it out the mud. We all had to, when we play sports, we had to teach ourselves. And he said, these kids now, if you let any kid right now, you let them just sit in the house, they're going to sit in the house and not do nothing all day. But like now with my son, Monday, Tuesday, hey, you got practice Monday, you got training Tuesday. I'm telling you what to go because I know that if I don't, you're going to sit there and not do nothing. But when I tell you to do it, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you what's on the schedule for the week. You don't have no problem. I've never had an issue with it. Like, I don't want to do this. I done took him to some bullshit-ass training, to some bullshit-ass practice with teams. He just went with it. We talk about it after the game. After practice, whatever. We talk about it. We laugh about it. But I think he sees it now that I just want you better than me.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, man, we all grew up in the city. We all could talk about how we grew up. And I just don't want my son to have to struggle. Like people always say.
The biggest piece of what you're missing there when you explain this story is their dad was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So he knew how hard you had to train, or he was an Olympian bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Right.
And how hard you train in order to be there. So it wasn't nothing that his peers could tell him any differently because these are my boys and I'm training them for something different. It was a white woman and a black man that came together and made black babies. Right. So at the end of the day, to say, hey, how we're going to break this chain was, hey, you're going to go so hard because I already know how to get you in the best physical shape. So you got the best attributes from there. So every day, I know how to pour into you. It's nothing that this person can tell because I'm at a top Olympian shape of how I'm going to be in this. So you've done basketball to the top career of what you've done and to peak to what you went from the college level. So you already going to point to your son on, hey, I already got the game to get you right here. Yeah. I know what's going to get you right here. Now, how do I make you exceed this even on some business side? Same thing.
So that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So when
like
they go,
said,
because
I don't want my kids to struggle. Like, some people like, well, you gotta let them get it out the mud. I don't want my kids to
I don't want my kid.
No, I want.
Okay, so with this day and age, right? So
You're not getting it out the mud.
Content creation being the highest paid career over most athletes, content creation is one of the highest paid
careers. At some point,
careers.
that's gonna die out.
What, content creation? I doubt it.
No, I think it is.
You think it'll reset?
It might reset, but it's not gonna be something that's stagnant.
As far as what though?
Like just career wise, because everybody thinks that they can create content, but if you don't understand your target market, if you don't understand like where to post things, when to post it, if you don't understand those things, content creation is nothing. Where was you going all the way with this? Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, when we spoke, me and Tony was talking about, he was saying like, he's training his kids, or as far as like talking about tech. Get a good job. That's what he was talking about. Get a good job because most young people don't want to work no more. Most young people, they don't want a 9 to 5. We see Casanets. We see all these content creators that's making crazy amounts of money off of doing content creation at a young age. Under 25, making 3 times what most people in CEOs are making in a year. They making it in a month. Casanet spent $3 million to create a streaming university. He made $30 million in 1 month. Off of that. So that's what the young people are seeing compared to when Our parents come and say, hey, get you a good job. Okay, what's the cap, right? The cap at the most job in tech, you may be able to crack probably like 250 if you stack jobs. So doctors, you may crack probably about 5, but it's still a cap when it comes to a 9 to 5. And we teaching them that, but then they go and they watch Castanet, and these niggas buying APs and Lambo, and they flying on jets at 25, and our parents saying, they sitting the Honda in the front yard, and they like, yeah, man, go get you a good job. And they looking at Castanet like, God damn, well, this nigga.
I think to your point, it's not going anywhere. I think like me and Tom both got the metal glasses on and stuff like that. We want to be able to catch a point of view, but you're gonna know when your kid got something.
Right.
You're gonna be documenting when he picked up a camera. He started watching his kids develop, and hey, if you want to do photography, you want to model stuff like that, you start developing, saying, hey, my kid actually got something, and we're gonna continue to hone these kids behind the scene. I'm already watching it. Do you got personality? Can I start recording you right now? We start streaming and let the kid continue to develop. I think that's one of the biggest things to where you gonna start seeing, hey, do I got a stud or I gotta continue to sharpen the iron on this stud right here, and it can continue to develop, but to continue to develop. And then while I'm doing this, I'm already creating your platforms. Yeah. And some platforms are meant to stay dark till we ready to peak, which has been a good thing with Kyler because nobody knows about it right now. But when he gets to high school, he'll be like that. Where does top 10 point guard come from?
But I'll say this. This is from, because Dion's the same way. Both of them are. I talked to both of them. So going back to what we talked about earlier, they doing that based off what they had to go through previously. Yeah. So cool. I didn't have no help. I didn't have a dad in my life. So this is what I want to do for my kid moving forward. Most parents don't see shit like that. Most parents are on the tip to where they like, I don't understand whatever it is you want to do. This is all I know. Get you a good job. Get you a good 9 to 5. This is what I know. Most black kids, we taught sports and music. For the most part, we really not taught everything else along the line. So most kids, they got to figure stuff out. Like I always bring up my story all the time. My parents didn't understand what I was doing when I started doing social media. They didn't know until I moved out. They're like, damn, this nigga really do social media. Hold on. Like, he really making money off of this.
Right.
But for the longest, I had the buck. So I feel like I had to claw my way to the level I'm at.
Right, but behind the scenes, you know how to turn around and show them what your back end revenue look like.
Right.
So now you can actually teach the game because beforehand there wasn't no blueprints of social media.
Of course.
Cash flow or monetizing.
They weren't even monetizing like that.
Yeah, you could go ahead and you can explain streaming, which and I wouldn't know, so I would come back and say, hey, teach me how to make some money out of it because I got the platform, but it ain't monetizing. So now when you start having the blueprints, you can start showing people. But I think right now, I think the game is still developing. So back to both of you, where y'all was battling that, it's developing. So who has the blueprint? Who can go back and show that streaming universe was gonna make $30 million?
I think my overall question is with kids, right? Are we teaching them to go get a good 9 to 5? Or are we teaching them entrepreneurship or create a business? Or are we teaching them to create? Or are we teaching them 9 to 5?
Entrepreneurship.
I teach my kids both because at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want to do. You can only, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. At the end of the day, they have their own vision as well. We might not know what it is. Sometimes they may be afraid to tell you because you pushing them, hey, go ahead and, be an attorney, whatever we're doing at that current time. But I'm just teaching you an additional skill. You get what I'm saying? To have while you, move along in your journey and what it is that you want to do. That way you can always have this to fall back on. And that's the way that I explain it to my babies.
Let me ask y'all this, man, because I know you used to coach, you know what I'm saying? And one thing that I see when we talking about like the kids, you got teenage kids, you know what I'm saying? You got adult kids, My daughter is just becoming a teenager. Well, she's 17. You got a young daughter. But one thing that's like through all the ages, like it's like for me, it feel like it's hard to break through to them. You know what I'm saying? Like as a coach, or do y'all feel like that?
I feel like coaches get to my kid, my boys.
Exactly.
Like even with my older son,
like we get the non-biased. We don't have to go home with them.
You don't have to go home with them. So like
we get
even
the non-biased look at it, at the situation to where I don't get to talk to you all the way till you get ready to get in the bed. Like damn,
right? You're not having to beat certain things in the head. Like sometimes with my son, I have to tell him I have to tell my sister, hey, go call Caleb. and ask him this question. And my sister would do it because he'll tell his TT certain things that he won't tell me. Like, he literally told my sister, like, it's hard to talk to my mom because my mom has this, she wants me to do this and I don't want to do that. So I have to listen to my sister tell me, I'm like, okay, I got to reparent my skills. But I'm like, I see your potential and I see what you're good at. And I'm just trying to pull that out of you. But as a teenager, they don't understand those things. So you have to allow them the room to really like explore. But as a parent, you're like, I already know what happens when you do this. So I'm trying to teach you. And so
do you explain that to them? Because I have this thing to where I kind of let them fail. I just don't let them fail too much. I'm always in the background watching. So therefore, and then when it gets like right mid, then I step in. See, basically, if you would have did what I asked you to do and do it this way, there you wouldn't have. You get what I'm saying? And so now do it the right way, and that's how they move on. And so, like you said, they actually have to see it, just like social media. Social media is driving our kids crazy, and that's what where their influence comes from mostly. And so you just have to let them feel it. You get what I'm saying? Just a little bit, because you don't want to hurt them. Sometimes things that they do can actually hurt them or whatever, but just a little bit. And then once they can, it's like they have to have proof. Like they always say cap, like I say cap, or whatever. They always have to have that proof when it's coming directly from the mother or, you know.
I believe that each person have a different and unique parenting style. Everybody in this room right here has a different influence. You know what I mean? I didn't have no daddy. The streets was my daddy. You know what I mean? So when you're dealing with a child, it ain't always about what you tell them. It's about your behavior and your history. And they going to do their homework on you. See what I'm saying? And they going to make decisions to where they either say, you know what, I want to be like my daddy, or they going to say, you know what, my daddy been locked up all my life. I'm going to do something different. Yeah. That is the influence. It's hard to, just like I listened to this guy, he say his neighbor is predominantly white. It's going to be hard for him to follow me to South Dallas Grove and Oak Cliff and talk to the little homie on the green box with a mouthful of gold and tattoos about what he needed to do with his life and to better himself when he didn't walk a mile in his shoes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I sit in amongst my peers and I feel the energy. Everybody has a different influence. The people that I reach, you can't reach because of the way you look and the way you sound. So sometimes we stay in our lane and we cater to those that look like us and sound like us. Right. Like when I get on radio, I'm not trying to be nobody else but me. You see what I'm saying? That's your job and your choice whether you want to tune in and follow me and listen to me or not. But I'm going to be who I am because it's easier being myself. So I'm aware of my influence.
You don't have to remember who you introduced.
See what I'm saying? My influence is going to be to where, like, for those that got kids, we want what's best for them. We want to teach them and raise them in the way of the upright. But at the same time, I'm aware that you have coaches, you have mentors, you have piano teachers, you know what I mean, choir directors that influence our children as well. Sometimes they go out and grow up and they venture out in different things. Because the way I was living, I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised to call women B's and H's. See what I'm saying? But the music influence and the things that interest me outside of my home is what I gravitated to.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to be a professional drug dealer, you're going to get with the drug dealer in the neighborhood and he's going to teach you how many grams in an ounce. If you the little boy that like to work on cars, you're going to get with Uncle Jesse under the tree and he's going to teach you how to change the alternator. It's depending on the child because every child don't like sports. One child might be a bookworm, and you got to be diverse and let that child be who he is and have his own individuality. So I think that everybody has an influence and we just can balance it out.
Basically, what you're saying is that influence should be your teacher because, like, as a parent, I had to learn that from my son. Like, it took my lawyer telling me, stop trying to protect him from his father because he needs to learn who his father is so he won't resent you. That was probably the biggest lesson I ever learned with my son. So I literally stepped back and I said, you know what? Go with your daddy. I already know what he about. I already know who he is. I done dealt with this nigga for a very long time. It's time for you to learn. And I don't need you to learn from my mouth so that you feel like I'm the reason you're not with him or you're not around him. I'm going to let you learn for yourself. My son is 15. He learned at 13. Oh, this is what my mom was talking about. Now at 15, he literally comes to me. He says, I don't want to be like that, mama. Like, he sees who his father is. So it's like sometimes you have to let kids learn from experience and then direct them. Once they feel that hurt or that pain or whatever they've been through, now you direct them according to that because they don't want to feel that no more. So it's like, okay, did you learn your lesson? Do you understand? All right, let's move forward from it. So sometimes we have to allow them to, like she said, just hit the ground a little bit and then pick them up and be like, okay, let's move forward.
You know, as parents, we don't want our kids to feel what we felt. The things that traumatize us.
So is that raising our kids out of fear?
It can be to a certain extent.
It can be. Sometimes we fear the unknown. Sometimes when we instill and try to guide our kids, only thing we can do is hope and pray that they heed what we tell them. Right? They gon' when that little baby walked up to the stove and the mama was in there frying fish and he see the fire and he reached out to touch it and he say, hot mama. And when mama walk away and leave, he still want to experience what it feel like.
Facts.
It's the curious mind in his all. You see what I'm saying? And we normalize a lot of things. And when you were talking about that, I heard her say, you know, her son couldn't believe that, you know, she knew such and such. And because we hide a lot of things from them. Yeah. We don't want them to know our past and we don't want them to feel what we felt. But sooner or later, if you don't talk to them about it, somebody outside of you going to talk to them about it. Right. Whether it's their football coach or their karate instructor. Right. You see what I'm saying? A little girl that want to be an Instagram model or a model in Vogue magazine, she can come to this woman. I like how she carry, how she dress, her accessories, how she do her makeup. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna listen to her. The little boy that want to be a drug dealer, he can feel like he can come listen to me. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just being real with you. Or the guy that got a college degree in liberal arts or whatever, I'm gonna go listen to him. I'm gonna go listen to King Mozzie. Everybody has an influence. You don't have to be a drug dealer. You don't have to have a college degree. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a bookworm. Everybody has an influence. You just got to know how to use it.
That's right.
So let me ask y'all this: what would y'all define as at y'all's current level, current age? What do y'all define as success compared to, let's just say, 20 years ago?
For me, success is freedom.
Freedom as far as what?
I can move freely. I can, if my kids got a appointment or something going on, I can say, hey, let me dictate my schedule the way that I want to, and I know I'm still gonna make money. Success for me is freedom. I can move how I want to and still be a mom, still show up for myself, still take time to pour into myself, still pour into my business, and I'm not on a restriction. Because most of the time when you are working a 9 to 5, you have restrictions. So if you got to work from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., you can't do nothing else between that time outside of what your job entails. But me, I don't have to do that. Like if my son say, oh, mom, last minute, I got to go get a physical for my football. Okay, cool. I'm going to look at my schedule. I'm going to change around my appointments or what I got to do. And I'm going to make time for him. I have the freedom to be his mom. You know what I'm saying? I have the freedom to, if I'm like, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed today, I'm finna go to the spa. I have the freedom to move around my schedule and pour into myself because I know I won't be the best version of me if I actually go and do my job today because I'm not gonna give it 100%. So that's what success is for me. It's not about the monetary value. It's about being able to be free with myself.
Right.
And so did that look like that at like 25-year-old Taylor?
I've been an entrepreneur since I was 26, so not at 25, no.
I would say success for me is knowledge.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because, you know, if I would have known what I know now, when it comes down to, I always say read, you know, pay attention. You get what I'm saying? Soak up as much as you can to get, if I'd have known that years ago, then I'll be in a better space. Ultimately, I'm happy where I am, though. It's not about, like she said, with money or anything like that, because you're really not successful when you have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That's my point. I feel like most people with a lot of money, they're miserable. I just need just enough to be able to continue to take care of myself and my cubs without stressing about it. But for the most part, the way I obtain that is through knowledge.
I agree with that. The more you know, the more successful you can be.
Success to me is, I believe, is being healthy. You know what I mean? I believe success comes in different forms because I know a lot of people that was born and raised in the projects that feel like they rich. Like they not comparing what they have and the next person have and don't have.
Right.
They feel like they rich because they have a relationship with God, or they successful because I raised my kids and now he's a chemical engineer. I'm successful. You see what I'm saying? Some people put success, means of success in material possessions and finances, being financial free.
Right.
But you can be successful and still be like Michael Jackson and still battling some demons. You can be successful like P. Diddy and still be want to, turn men out. See what I'm saying? No, this can't be real podcast.
Real.
So what is your definition of success?
Right.
You got. I consider this a success if I go to school at my age and get a college degree.
Right.
See what I'm saying? But to me personally, I look at success is health, because I believe that health is wealth, and I live long enough to see my kids grow and become fruitful.
That's right.
Because I buried my son. See what I'm saying? So I didn't get a chance to see him bear children, you know what I mean, and make me a grandfather.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But it's not over with for me. That's my definition of success, is being able to live a long life and be at peace and be able to leave my mark.
Right.
A lot of people want to be rich. A lot of people want to be famous. A lot of people want attention. But rich people don't even look rich.
Thanks. They drive Camrys and wear
A boss
ascots.
don't have to speak when he come into the room.
That's right.
You're going to feel his energy and his presence.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in the streets. I don't talk around people I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's how you was raised. What's your perception? You know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself that. It's rhetorical. But I believe that if we unify, Taylor Simone and Yolanda Red and these guys here at the panel, we can agree to disagree and have our own opinions. You know what I mean? And not to say nobody is right or wrong. Everybody has their own influence. The people, like I say, the people that I can reach, you probably can't reach. And the people that you reach, I probably can't reach. That's why it's important for us to come together and voice our opinions. You know what I mean? And a lot of these young guys, they don't have a voice. They don't have a role model. I didn't know what a man was until I turned 31 years old. I asked that Caucasian man, I said, well, what do you want me to do? All I know how to do is rob and steal drugs. I don't know much about a computer. He said, Mr. Hall, the role model for the American citizen is to go to elementary school, go to middle school or junior high school, go to high school, go to college, then find a wife, then start a family. Right. But how can you tell that little minority child in the inner city of Pleasant Grove, South Dallas, Oak Cliff, that when she done bore a child at the age of 12 or 13? See what I'm saying? So now you can't cry with spilled milk. You got to go out there and find a way. You got to learn. I got homegirls that's prostitutes. And get what? I don't treat them no different. I go sit in their house with them, chill with them. But when you go in there, they be like, Mello, my life's about to get cut off. It's embarrassing for me to do this, but I'm going to turn this little trick so my kids can have some school clothes. I look at it as a person as a soul that's trying to survive. We all got a story.
That's right.
Just 'cause he come up in Frisco or out there in the predominant neighborhood don't mean that he can't make an import and make his mark. See what I'm saying? You got to reach these people. And a lot of people can sense fakeness. They can sense when you ain't authentic.
That's right.
We can sense when you wrestle for attention and clout chasing. Because sometimes it ain't about what you say, it's about how you move. You can say everything. The preacher said everything in the Bible, but still was drugging them little girls and date raping them. And was still having sex with everybody on the usher board. The deacon sleeping with everybody on the low. It's $100,000 out there that was come up missing, and all of a sudden the pastor got a brand new Cadillac.
Which church you talking about?
It's funny, but it's true.
Hey, that's a fact.
I'm not trying to make no joke.
Yeah.
But see,
people laugh because
I'm gonna slide
true.
in and I'm gonna close my part out on success, and I'm gonna jump in right where you came in because you said it in the summed it up, which was simple. It's basically leaving your mark.
That's right.
And then for men, it's called being a patriarch. So being resourceful to those that come through the family and being able to provide and continue to provide for the family is setting up being resourceful through on and throughout. So being able to be on this platform and sharing this platform for y'all, being a resource to be able to reach out, tell us tomorrow, hey, I got something that need to jump off. Can you handle this for me? Hey, E, I don't need nothing for it. Pull up. E, same thing when she hit me up. Hey, E, I got some talent coming to town. I just want you to feed them. How much is that gonna cost me? It ain't gonna cost you nothing. You put me on. You done did a deal for me. I'm doing a deal for you.
That's
same
right.
thing. You saying, hey, come on my platform. We're gonna do some advocacy work. What's the ticket? It ain't no ticket for me to come in here and talk about my restaurant or talk about my entrepreneur deal. I'm doing that for you. So just being able to be a patriarch for the family, someone that person could call on, one that could be in the mark. I used to think it was time. Time really ain't nothing if you ain't making the most use for it.
That's right.
So I used to live by that. I used to use that all the time. But I had to think about that. If I'm not making the most use for my time and not being productive with my time don't mean shit. So just leaving my mark within people to where they always remember me. They always know that, hey, I can reach out with E, whatever we got going on as far as community, charity, whatever the case may be. I can reach out to you. You can be a lifeline. So that's what I'm gonna keep it real simple for
Your
me.
impact.
My impact.
Okay. I like that.
Perfect.
I feel it.
I read a quote. Well, I heard a guy speaking, and he was saying that a successful person is a person that wake up every morning and do what they love to do. No matter if you're a bus driver, a school teacher, a millionaire, whatever. Like, if you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm getting up and I'm happy to be up and I'm happy to go do what it is that I'm about to do.
Right.
Like, then you're truly a success, because at the end of the day, only person that can define that success for you
is you.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
I feel that. I remember an older guy. He used to sign shoes at the airport, and he was always smiling, and I never understood that, because I used to like fast money, and I had pride. It was certain things I couldn't do. That was almost similar to being a panhandler. You see what I'm saying? But when from the outside looking in, you say, "Oh man, he's just a shoe signer." But when you went to go tip him or give him his little money, he gonna do a dance for you. He gonna sing a song for you. You see what I'm saying? And you might laugh at him, but when he go out there in that parking lot, he got an S550 Mercedes out there.
Yeah.
But you laugh at him because he's shining shoes. But he's successful in his mind.
Right.
Thanks.
He's successful that, hey, shining shoes pay for my kids' college tuition.
That's right. Makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? When you look at that movie, Rock, with Charles Dutton, he was the trash man. I say, Paw, he ain't nothing but a trash man. And my grandfather say, Mario, he's a sanitation engineer.
Oh yeah, you changed your perspective.
He dressed it up.
Yeah.
He gave him a title that made him seem significant and important.
Yes.
And that's what we do. We put titles on people. Look at me, I'm a content creator. Look at me, I'm the CEO of this company.
That's like that social media. That's like social media, right? So like for Taylor, right? This for you. This question is for you, right? Like, so you talking about perception, right? Like, and I'm saying, like, social media is like a big part of that, because people can paint whatever picture they want to paint with social media, right? So like, as we was talking earlier, you know, we saw a clip of you on another podcast. If you want to talk about it.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, you know.
Hey, how y'all gonna clip me with this?
Because I think
gonna clip my good side?
I think this will be a good thing too, because for one, in the industry that everybody's in too, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we saw that, or when I saw it, and I want to get your perspective. I want to get your perspective, because, you know, social media can paint you, like, we can take a clip that you saying right now and make it seem some other way, and then when you look at it, you like, dang, like,
that ain't
even how I said it, right? So for you, I want you to kind of clarify that up to give you a chance, and once you clarify it up, I want y'all to weigh in.
What did you say?
Yeah, I want her to say it. I want her to say it.
We seen some stuff, and it's like, we know you
exactly.
personally.
So let's put it like this. You have some people who are social media oriented. So me, if I wanted to be a content creator, I could be. My followers were not built off of me creating content. My followers were built off of authenticity. I'm important in real life. Like, people know me outside of social media, and they know, like, I really be about business. I really can make some moves. I really can help some people grow some shit, because that's just who I am. But you have certain individuals who take social media so serious that it's a job for them. One thing for me is I never want social media to become another business for me, because I run enough businesses and I want to just have fun over here. So when you say that social media can actually change a perspective of who somebody is or how they actually run their life, it's real. People will use clickbait in order to bring people to their page, in order to allow people to see certain things when that's not really the truth. That's a perception that's being put out there to, I guess you can say, amplify them. So what y'all are talking about is there was a conversation that was had, which is why I said earlier, are we having a conversation or are we having a debate? Because you can go into a certain situation thinking that you're having a conversation, right, and it's really a debate. Right. You can go into a situation to where somebody has one perception of something and they like to twist and alter that certain perception. You can go into a conversation and think, oh, okay, we're really about to be on the same page. And then when you finally look at that person's page, you see they bring the same type of people on their page in order to minimize them in a particular way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier to minimize them in that particular way because these are the type of people that they have and they post certain clips. So for me, how y'all want me to say this?
However, this cannot be real.
Yeah, this cannot be however you feel like it needs to come. Because like we said, we know you personally. The way these clips came out and the way they look, it didn't paint you in a bad light, but it just looked different. It looked like a different conversation.
So, it wasn't the fact that it was a different conversation. It was how social media can actually
twist it.
Yes. Social media can twist certain things to where it can actually put you up here when you're really not up here. So for me, I feel like when people say that they're content creators, they have created a certain tone for their page. This particular person created a certain tone for their page, and my dialogue did not fit that page.
Okay, let me just jump to it, right?
Go ahead, jump to it.
So the guy was pretty much saying that you have pretty privilege.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
So
you smooth, like she hit that one when you said
So that's pretty much what he was saying.
Okay, so let's get into it. This will be an extenuation of the conversation. So one of the conversations, because there was multiple, was pretty privileged. My question on the entire time that we had it was, okay, what category are we speaking on? He was like, pretty privileged, just period. I was like, okay. Men like to take one topic and put it in all categories. Women like to take one topic and say, okay, which category are we speaking on? Because if I go to the 5 Bistro and there's a line, I'm going to use my pretty privilege to get to the front. Because if it's raining outside, I'm not going to stand out there in my heels and my really cute outfit. We going to call E and we going to say, E, hey.
I'm outside. That ain't really
That's a plug.
Okay, I'm going to look at the security guard and the security guard going to look at me.
Just that's pretty privilege.
Come here. And I'm going to be like, okay. And I'm going to trot my little cute ass up to the front and we're going to get in so I don't have to stand in the rain.
That's right.
But if we're talking about me being in the world of my career, why is it that men will create a reason for women to be successful?
Because they look good.
Because they look good. It's like men want us to praise them and be like, well, accept us being not cocky, but accept us being able to walk around and walk in our truth. But the moment that a woman is walking in their truth, why do it has to be pretty privileged? That's pretty much what the conversation was. So I said, okay, what dialect are we speaking from? Because again, if I go to the 5 Bistro, I'm going to use my pretty privilege. But in the career world, you can be pretty, but can you sustain the position that you're in? You actually have to have a brain. You actually have to have a mind. And one thing that I don't understand that when it comes to people is that the first introduction that you have to somebody is their physical looks. So if I see you, Mozzie, if I see you, E, the first thing I'm going to say, oh, they cute. They real cute. But it depends on where I'm at in life. I can say you're cute. I can say you're cute and not pursue you. I could just be like, oh, they real cute. I like his swag, so on and so forth, and then go on about my day. And then be like, oh, okay, this is a cool friend. Like, let's just be honest. Dion, Mozzie, y'all, when y'all first was introduced to me, same with you, Mario, probably you, E, what was told to you? Oh, Taylor, cool as fuck. But when you first saw me, what did you think? She cute. she got
but it was the business though. But I got introduced
hair.
to like it was like business, like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like she a good business.
The first
woman.
introduction that you have to somebody is their physical.
Facts.
I can't look at you and be like, oh my God, they smart. I see their brain. They made A+. Oh my God, your heart is two sizes too small. You the Grinch, bitch. No, I can't look at you and get that perception of you. I have to actually get to know you. So for people to say pretty privilege is something, the first introduction that you have to somebody is their physical appearance. So now you're using their physical appearance to get them against them when that's not necessarily.
So basically, you're saying pretty girls are being penalized for being pretty.
Exactly. And then on top of that, I didn't even make me. My mom and daddy made me. Why are y'all mad at me? Can we go talk to them about this? Because I didn't make me.
That's a trauma.
You can get mad at me about my kids.
That's a trauma.
So I know you said it's like a curse.
It's a curse. It's a curse. People think just because you're pretty, and it's really not pretty privilege. Because we get the worst short end of the stick of every damn thing. We got to fight for everything.
Right.
We got to, like, you trying to explain yourself. It creates an insecurity. It's just it does.
It creates an insecurity.
You get what I'm saying? Because you're really down to earth, humble. You get what I'm saying? Most cool is out the crew. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But you get those mofos, I'm saying motherfuckers, motherfuckers that want to start with you just because, hey, man, get to know me. Ask me what my name is. Ask me what it is that you want to know about me. Why are you intrigued in reference to who I am? What is it? You get what I'm saying? Other than just creating the negative content about because I'm just pretty. Oh, she get all the men, or that's not necessarily true. We don't want them.
But see, do you know how many situations where I've been in to where, like corporate situations, to where men would get mad that I didn't want to shake their hands. Like literally just get mad because I didn't want to shake their hands. And how many conversations I've had to have to where I'm talking to them and they be like, well, you should shake their hands and you should do this. But they lead with, well, you're pretty and this and that. I'm like, well, damn, why you can't just say I'm smart first? Why you can't just say that I'm business savvy first? Why do you have to lead with how I physically look?
Right.
That makes me insecure because I'm like, if you're coming at me saying, oh, well, you look like this, that means the masses of the people who encounter me, this is their first thought too. So now it's an insecurity. So now I gotta wear baggy pants or dress a certain way or look a certain way. Or when I'm introducing you to myself, you know how many men have grabbed my hand and coddled my hand like
and just
this?
hold it.
Nigga, let my fucking hand go. You know how many men I've met in a business world who have found me on social media and literally tried to take me somewhere, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we can't talk about business. You know how many people I've encountered business-wise where we will talk about business and then they will try to use how I look against me, and I'm like, damn, you can make money off me. You know that, right? You know you can just use me and we can just make money. You ain't got to fuck with me, right? And it seems like men get insulted by that.
They do.
When you literally tell them, like, look, I'm actually an asset to you. I'm actually smart. I actually know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a bimbo that's cute. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, use me in that aspect. Don't use me to try to fuck on.
It just goes with what their mindset is, though, at the current time. That's what's on their mind. It's not about business with them in a lot of ways. Right. It's just exactly what it is that they see at that current time. And so,
but then men get mad and turn around and be like, I want a woman that's this and that. Well, nigga, you had it. I just told you.
What did y'all take from the clip? I ain't seen this clip.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it.
I gotta see the clip.
You gotta see it.
You ain't seen the clip.
Wait, hold on. I'll be in Houston on June 7th on the podcast, and we'll be here in Dallas on June 21st.
Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We'll be in Houston too Saturday.
Brett, pull the fuck up because my question is going to be: are we having a conversation or are we having a debate? And make sure y'all edit this so that I look right.
No,
I'm actually a pretty smart motherfucker.
Hey, your percatude is on the left right now.
What you say? I got a little je ne sais quoi in this bitch.
You know what I'm saying? So E, for you and Mario, if y'all ain't seen the clip, I just want to ask y'all the question though. Like, do y'all think it's a thing? Like, is pretty girl privilege a thing? Like, is that a real thing?
That's a real thing. It goes on. It goes on, especially in the industry that I'm in.
Exactly.
So no, you just categorized it.
But it goes on. It goes on across the board. I say that too. But the same token, it goes on, especially in the hospitality industry, to where I had to sit here and say, hey, you done got away with it because of pretty girl privilege. Now I had to actually show you the right way because you don't know anything. Sometimes when you say, hey, you done got promoted up, then by the time frame I get to deal with, I think you got the X's and the O's, and you really got the C's and the T's. Like, come on, man. Like, because
you look good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
somebody should have stopped you in your tracks. But it also goes on not only when I deal with just on the hospitality side, when I deal with real estate. Hey, you was cute. You got the deal. You were the listing agent, but the same token, you really done about what you talking about. Like, you really ain't that hustler you say you is.
Right.
Because when we get to talking and going to the negotiation table, you ain't bringing me nothing to the table.
So basically what you're saying is pretty privilege comes from the eyes of a man, not a woman.
It comes from both, though.
Men think
it comes from both, though.
They think with, their emotions or private parts when it comes to women. Is that what you're saying?
Some do. I'm saying pretty privilege is a thing.
I'm telling you from women that like women too.
I'm just saying, clear point with the answer your question. Pretty privilege is a thing. It's gonna forever be a thing.
So let me ask you, like, so you saying,
it's sad,
so
it's sad to be said, but it's real.
Because I think people like so. Do you think the misconception is like what you're saying? Some women use it to get to a certain level, and then when you gotta show like your real skills.
Y'all do content. Yeah. When you see a realtor do content, are they dressed as them real sales? Are they wearing something where you see them in the video? They gotta do all this, so they got something on tight. They got something on provocative because they know pretty is the privilege. They want to see that. Hey, when I'm selling you a home, I'm selling you something. The whole image of this is gonna look like luxury. That goes a part.
So I have a question.
Even when you come to the club, I'm serving luxury too. I'm selling fantasies. So at the same time, pretty is a fucking privilege. So we're not gonna get around it.
Let's say this. So I've seen some physically less fortunate people.
Cool.
Put that shit on.
Cool.
And it outshined how they physically looked, and it made people think like, damn, that motherfucker dressed. So on and so forth. So do you feel like social media has made pretty privilege a thing?
No. I think it's always been a thing because when you go to a strip club, you ain't going to see no bunch of wrestlers come across the stage. let's just keep it a stack here. All right, you want to see some? I done seen some strippers
that's not cute too.
Yeah. You want to see a bad server? You ain't thinking about it.
You want to see some styles? You want to see some styles?
But I guess that means that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because I done seen some strippers that be stripping and they not cute.
Hey, an example of pretty privilege. It's real.
They got some tricks too, though.
Okay, but that's not physical. That's not looks. Pretty privilege is how you look. What you're saying is the tricks is a physical aspect.
We wouldn't even talk about that. You said that you just see them make some money, and I said how they made the money because they had some tricks.
Yeah, but no, pretty privilege is based on how you look, not your actions.
We ain't disagreeing on that.
Right. You know what I mean? Like to me, a prime example of pretty privilege is when you watch that movie Dreamgirls. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, Beyonce. Right?
Even though old girl was the strongest singer, he wanted Beyonce to be the front woman because of her looks.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of us, we immature. A lot of us men, we immature when we won't publicly say that.
I like that. Say that again.
A lot of us are immature and we won't say that because in our minds, beauty and pretty privilege is things on the surface, on the exterior. But as a man now, I've grown into what you call a sapiosexual. And that's somebody that's attracted to your intellect.
That's right.
Because I host a radio show. I get some of the prettiest women. You done been on there twice. I get some of the prettiest women that come through there, right? But I'm more attracted to their intellect than what they look like because I know a lot of homegirls that are from the hood that set dudes up. They don't have no substance within. So you just pretty on the surface of things. Right. See, if you take a cup, right, and you clean out the outside of the cup, spotless, right? But if I don't clean the inside of the cup, it's still overall dirty.
Right.
Just the exterior of it is beautiful.
Do you feel like this is a conversation only within the black community, though?
Hell no.
I don't feel like the less melanated people really talk about things like this.
Y'all do podcasts, and you probably good in your podcast business. It's some that get by. Some podcasts, women cohorted shows, they get by based on what?
So me and Dion talk about that. So not necessarily, but the look sells, right? The look is a hook. So it's like, so me and Dion talk all the time. Like we don't like. I ain't gonna say that. We don't do the whole getting every rapper in here to kind of boost up what we got going on, because like that's a look. Most podcasts they don't have no substance, but they bring on every rapper and they make them look like, damn, that's a fire ass podcast, and it's really not. They just using the clout of whatever artist, rapper, or verified person they bring on. So like for us, it's like I think the look is what can sell people, but like you say too. It's like, okay, once you...
What's your substance?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Because a bottle of water...
The look is the hook.
It makes you marketable.
Yeah,
That's it.
Exactly. And that's just what I feel. I just feel like...
It definitely
I feel like pretty privilege is like the surface for people, but they don't really go into depth with it because it's about what your substance is. Because you can think somebody is beautiful. Like, that's my first thing. Like, Mozzie, you not ugly. I can look at you and be like, damn, that nigga fine. That nigga got a six pack. I see him in the gym. But if you don't have substance,
it don't mean
then
nothing.
It's now you're not pretty.
It can make you ugly.
You're not cute to me. Right. You're like, it's giving me the ick. I don't want to talk to you no more.
Straight
you
up.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I feel like pretty privilege is literally it doesn't exist because you see something, but then you also once you see it, you also have to get to know it, and now you're like, I don't want to fuck with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. How many people? Like, I see pretty bitches all the time. And I'll be like, get away from me. Yeah. Don't talk to me no more. Right. Because now you know what the
you
inside
get to that
look
point
like.
once they open their mouth and you realize they ain't got no substance.
Exactly. No.
Yeah. That's going to get a person's attention to what they look like.
Yeah.
No, I've dealt with people like that. I mean, you know, I had dreads, my blonde hair, tattoos. Exactly. I've dealt with people that came up to me and they thought I was a dumb bitch. And then now they talk to me and I be like, oh, she got some sense. This motherfucker know what she talking about. Let me just step back.
Right.
So do you not think pretty is a privilege? Or pretty privilege is a thing?
I think pretty can be a privilege in certain categories, but I feel like it's used as a weapon for women who actually have the substance. That's why it fucks with me so bad, because I'm like, I actually have the substance. So now you're placing me in a category with women who don't have substance when I actually do. Does that make sense? Men put it in one category instead of trying to determine which category this woman fits in. Because there are some women who like dislike me because they have a predeceived deception, like a predeceived ideal of me.
So let me ask y'all two ladies a question. When do y'all use our pretty privilege?
At the club, at the 5.
I was just about to. That was on my.
At the 5.
I don't lie to you. When I go to the club, so I'm not
at the 5. Yeah.
Or anything like that, and so that's mostly when I use mine. Or if I want to go in VIP, I just
at the gas station.
So it's only you. You only use a pretty privilege only on VIP. Y'all use it when you do it. Y'all use pretty privilege when you doing no other transaction.
No, not me.
I just had to ask.
Not me. Now when I go to the 5 Bistro, I don't got to use it no more because y'all know me. Y'all don't know me with my black hair.
I mean, them linebackers got to watch y'all.
Walk
to the front of the line.
Have y'all ever
Every
heard
time
that saying?
That's where it starts.
Have y'all ever heard that saying? I remember hearing an older woman say that you can get the man, but you can't keep the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like me, you know, I'm a man, you know what I mean? Like we men in here, and we look at the physical attributes, right? And then we look at her and she pretty, you know, she got the shape, you know, the bosom and all that. And then I go over her house and she got dirty underwear hanging up in the shower.
But
the kids sleeping on her mattress, but I go in her bedroom, she got a 6-inch TV mounted on the wall. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's gonna turn me off. Yeah. But she's gorgeous. Got the body of a stripper with her real clothes on.
That's exactly what I just said. It depends on where you are in your life. Because there are men that will see a physically attractive woman and be like, damn, she fine. And then keep it moving, because that was another conversation. That men spend money on women because they just want to. Like they want something out of them. Do, and I was like, no, that's not the truth. Like I literally have friends that have been like, man, Taylor, I just been seeing you grinding and this and that, and I know that you just be working and send me $25. Just go lunch on me. And they don't want nothing from me. They don't want, no, it's the truth. They don't want nothing from me. Yeah.
You mean females?
Huh?
You mean just people in general?
What you mean? Like
when you say a male or a female?
Yeah, just females or just male in general.
Yeah,
I forgot that's what you said earlier. But
it's I mean,
okay, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so
it's game. Now, it's definitely game. It's definitely game because you ain't gonna keep on getting nothing for nothing now.
Okay, boom. So
eventually gonna want some.
Are y'all sending some women some money just like on some friendship type vibe?
I will pay for my girlfriends. Well, I'm not girlfriend, but
I'm gonna be real
I must have sent my homeboy money like
most definitely. I will send my honey lunch, or I might.
No, not your honey.
No, not just a regular. Yeah. You mean just my homegirl or homeboy? Yeah, my homeboy.
This is what I'm saying.
It just depends on what kind of homeboy he is.
That pretty privilege thing is real. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna go in the category of a trick, right? No, I'm being real with you. See, that don't move me because how pretty you is and how big your dairy is. Like, I'm gonna treat you like a normal girl.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I can find the girl next door to be somebody that I can yoke myself with and build with and have some with, compared to the girl who walk around with a body like a stripper.
But he asked, did you send that cash app?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. No. I sent her a cash app, and she need a little assistance because it's somebody I'm dating.
Let me change your perspective.
But just randomly sending women money, she ain't gonna respect me.
Let me change your perspective on something.
Stop, Mark.
I'm always gonna look like a trick.
Let me change your perspective on something.
It's not always like that.
Some men out there, and the thing is like it goes back to being a double standard because women actually spend money on men too. I'm a woman. Like
all
sometimes
the time.
I send my homeboy money like, hey, lunch on me today. You always show up for me, I'm gonna show up for you. I'm not saying that they never found me attractive. I'm just saying that, you know, again, physical appearance is the first thing that you see. Of course, a man is going, you know what I'm saying? I ain't everybody cup of tea.
Trust me, they ain't no good either because as sooner or later, homeboy gonna say something. You gotta cut him out for about a month or two because he gonna let you know, I've been looking all these years, we been cool, but you ain't never. So, you know, they do come back. And
right.
And
I get that.
They do that. They all feel the same.
That's human nature.
Right.
Like,
it is.
That's human nature.
It is.
Like, it's human nature. So, damn, what was I saying?
How you sent that cash out?
First of all, it's not about to. Okay, so you have some men that are looking for who they want, but they haven't found them yet. But they still want to be a provider. They still want to show up. Yeah. So they'll be like, okay, I got my homegirl, or I just want to do a good deed today. Here, I'm gonna pay for your lunch today, and keep it fucking moving. That don't mean that they want you.
No,
that don't mean that they trying to holler at you. It just mean they just want to show. They just a good man. They just want to show up, and they ain't got no woman in their life that they can show up for, so they just want to do that. I've encountered those type of people.
Yeah, they do.
I've literally said,
all of these
okay, well, here's my number, and they be like, nah, I don't want your number. I was just being nice. And I was like, fuck. Yep. Well, why you don't want my number? You know what I'm saying? So it's literally what I don't like is that men want women to like show up for y'all and like be black man this. And the moment we try to give y'all some credit, y'all put us down like, nah, that's not what we do. We don't send cash outs. We want to fuck y'all. Well, no, I'm just trying to tell y'all that like there are some good men out here
that comes from men that ain't
don't know any better.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what I said. Men take one topic and categorize it for everything. Women take one topic and we say, hey, which category are we speaking in? So when it comes to topics like pretty privilege or men sending cash apps or those type of things, we're not speaking from as if it doesn't exist. We're asking you, which category are you talking from? You know what I'm saying? Which category are we having a conversation on? Because it doesn't apply for everything that you think it applies to for us. For you, it may be one generalized topic, but for us, we like, oh no, we can give you some benefit of the doubt over here, but you bullshitting over here. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's all we're saying. It exists. It's just we're asking you where you want to converse about.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real. I got some homegirls, man, real talk, like they didn't came to me and be like mellow. You know what I mean? Like, man, you know, my kids ain't got nothing to eat. I done bought them groceries. You know what I mean? And I think what makes it more powerful is when a man can be a certain kind of way and he don't expect nothing in return. Because I'm not a coochie hound.
Just being
I'm not what they call tender dick. You know what I mean? I went 10 years. I went 10 years without sex, homie, and no homosexual activity. See what I'm saying? So when I got homegirl from the hood, they probably felt like I was cute, especially when I was younger. But when I bought them some groceries, I didn't want that. I ain't want to come in. I ain't want to do nothing but finish this blunt off and leave.
But they hit them.
It made them like me more and respect me more as a person because out of all the dudes that I asked for some assistance for, they had an ulterior motive. They wanted to get between my legs. But Mello, he didn't even want to come in. You see what I'm saying? He just wanted to give me that money and dip. Because in my mind, what's $30, $40, $50 when I'm out here living like this here? Man, my mama was a single parent, homie. You know what I mean? I know the struggle.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I ain't born no silver spoon. I ain't coming here blowing smoke with y'all talking about, hey, man, I'm a millionaire and this all that. That don't mean nothing to me, homie. What you got, what you know, your house, all that.
Right.
Cause you still can be P. Diddy on the low.
Right.
No, for real.
No Diddy,
Man, you can be Bill Cosby or Kelly, all that. All the above, homie. So what does that mean? What this, how this move?
Yeah.
You still having sex with your brother. Why? Your heart ain't right, man. Money ain't supposed to make you look down on nobody and all this stuff. It's supposed to just give you more options.
I think money just bring out who you really is, honestly.
Right.
And what I learned a long time ago, because some people they go to college and then they get some money or they tap into something.
Right.
But it's hard to tell an 18-year-old with $20,000 cash on him about money. He get used to it. He get mature with it. See what I'm saying? There's levels to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, what a YN, like y'all say, might think it's some money. Ain't no money. That young dude gonna blow your face off for $2,500. You can't get a lawyer for $2,500 to fight that case.
That's fake.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but you know, like I say, it's levels to it. It depends on the person and what you putting your hands into. You know what I mean? All that play a role and how your heart move, what's your perspective on life.
That's right.
Perspective is the key word.
You know what I mean? Because some dudes I think they having some money and kill somebody or do this here, but you can't even burn out of jail, homie. See what I'm saying? You think you doing something because you got a box Chevy on 28s. The rims cost more than the car. But in your mind, you really think you got motion.
Yeah.
Now, I'm being real with you. There's levels to it. Until you experience it, it's hard to tell somebody when he was 20 years old and he got 100 pounds of weed, you know, how you gonna look at what's money? Like Dolph said, if you would do anything for some money, I don't want to be around you, cause you'll kill me.
That's fake.
You'll shoot me in the back of my head with my back when I'm facing the opposite direction.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Because you love money so much. That is your God. See what I'm saying? Hey man, you can have all the money in the world, man. I can't never get my son back home, man.
That's right.
Hey man,
when I leave this podcast, my son's still gone, homie.
Yeah.
You can give me $1 million tonight. Get what? A piece of me still gone. You gotta find joy. You gotta find fulfillment in something else.
But I think that's I think that's perspective too, though, because
exactly
to somebody that grew up with money, it's easy to tell them that. But to somebody that's starving, you telling them, hey, money ain't all that. But they living
they need it.
But they starving though. They need it. They living on EBT.
Like, no, I need the money.
How you gonna tell me? Yeah, you telling me that from up there. We still down here.
I'm at the bottom. Like,
so it's like, I think that's
perspective. All these topics is perspective.
It's perspective.
Like,
exactly.
People, like, when you speak on certain things, some people are speaking from experience. Some people are speaking from what they've seen.
Right.
So it's still opinionated at the end of the day.
Some people just speak.
Yep.
Right.
That's facts. That's facts. That's fact.
Man, listen, man. This has been a great conversation, man. For real. Like, we talking about perspective, and I just want to say this before we close out the show, though. Like, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming over here and, you know, and giving y'all authentic perspective on I wouldn't even say a topic. It's just life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a lot of times, you know, we speak on certain things, and like you said, we speak on it from our experience, and I think that's when the best advice comes out.
Right.
Because I can tell you something, like you said, bro. When you said that, I went 10 years, no sex. Now when I go talk to a young dude, I'm gonna be able to tell them, bro, I know a dude that went 10 years no sex. So when I tell you, you can hold off on sex, work on your body, work on going to school, work out, educate yourself, build yourself up, it can be done, because I personally know someone who did it. So I just want to say, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming over here, sharing y'all perspective, man. But before we get out of here, real quick, we got a quick game we want to play, man. And this game is called Truth or Cap. So we already know, if it's true to you, you say true. And if it's cap, you say cap. But if you say cap, you have to explain why it's cap. And if you say true, Like, so say if one person say true and everybody else say kept, then that one person got to explain why they saying, why they the opposite. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if everybody's saying the same thing, then we'll share a little bit of our perspective. So, is work-life balance real? Truth or kept?
Work-life balance?
Is it real? Is it a real thing? Is work-life balance a real thing?
True.
True.
That's
True.
Y'all saying cap, y'all saying true.
I say cap.
I'm saying true.
So, why you say true?
You gotta find some type of work-life balance because you can run yourself in the ground. Just because you working don't mean that you being productive, brother.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So you have to have some balance in that. One thing that I had to understand, like, man, I was grinding hard in the restaurant for like 3 years. It wasn't being productive. So at the end of the day, you got to understand, like, hey, I can pull back. You can take this day off. You can go enjoy your family. It's things bigger than that. And then just getting up going to work. So work-life balance, that's a true thing.
It is.
Yeah. And you say cap. Why you say it's cap?
The reason why I say it's cap is because it depends on what your work is. Like, when you run more than one business, if you don't have delegation, you don't have work-life balance. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can have people like me who are just controlling. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Controlling. So it's just like, it's like you have to, I think work-life balance has to be learned and you have to allow yourself to learn it. And if you're not receptive to learn it, it's not going to exist.
That's right.
And you have to get to a position to where you trust the people that are around you in order to have the work-life balance. So in order to achieve it, that means you trust the people that you work with, the people that you're around, because no business can actually be 100% successful without delegation in the parts of your business that you aren't the strongest in. So I feel like it's delegation. Like, if it's just you, no. Yeah. If you trust the people that are around you, yes, you can achieve it, but it requires a team, not just you by yourself.
Okay. All right. So next question: should everyone?
What did you say?
Yeah, my bad.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said true or cap.
I lean toward both. I mean, it can be true and it can be cap. And the reason I say it's true because, again, just like you said, it's a mind thing, and you have to, if you focus, you get what I'm saying, you can achieve that particular goal. But how many of us really do that? That's the thing. That's what makes it cap, because I know that I have the mentality I can, balance my work life if I wanted to, but that's not what I want to do.
Then you start thinking about how much money you gonna lose.
You get off into the cap, and so. But I believe that it can go both ways.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I feel that. You know what I mean? I was looking at it from one point, kind of, it's like I almost misunderstood the question, but at work, I'm this person, and I'm at home, I'm a family man. To me, I'm sitting amongst y'all, talking amongst my peers. To me, this work. It don't feel like the no manual labor, nothing, but it's work.
Though,
But when I leave here, I have it in my mind that some people have a perception of me as mellow. You know what I'm saying? No, even though I look the same and stuff like that, I have a new spirit, a new mind, right? And I'm aware that when I'm at work, I can't carry myself in such candor. I have to separate it and balance it out.
That's right.
I remember I would listen to Pimp C. A lot of Pimp C is bigger than what a lot of people think. You know what I mean? And I was listening to him, and I read a 1,008-page book, and he said that I have three alter egos. I have 3 split personalities. And he said I'm Chad Butler, the family man, the father, right? I'm Pimp C, the rap mogul. I'm Sweet James Jones when I'm feeling myself. See what I'm saying? You have to balance it out.
Right.
The way you conduct yourself and behave and converse in front of your kids ain't gonna be the same way that you go outside in the community and conversate with a random person.
That's right.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? So I believe that you will have to balance it out.
I like that right there.
All right, we got 2 more questions. So the next one is: your network is more important than your skill set.
Negative.
True.
Okay.
True.
I think that's true.
Your network, like your network.
I think sometimes
like
your network can bring out your
man. Say it one more time.
So your network is more important than your skill set.
I say true.
So the people you around in your community is more important than your actual skills to get those jobs done.
I think that's true.
I think so. Yeah. Can I tell you why it's true?
Okay.
Because your network can sometimes bring out your skill set. If you hang around 5 dummies, you're going to be the 6th dummy.
Yeah.
You hang around 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th millionaire.
That's right.
So your network can sometimes push you to be what your skill set is.
Right.
So if you are trying, even if you haven't even determined what your skill set is, sometimes your network can be like, hey, I see this in you. I think you should do this. Or sometimes you can be like the passion can be ignited just from seeing the people that you're around. So that's why I think it's true.
Okay. I'll say true for sure.
I think they can go both ways too.
Yeah.
At the same time, like when you pay attention to the music, the different artists, there's some artists out there that you feel like that's underrated. You know what I mean? You be like, man, this guy got the skills, but he ain't won the platinum plaque yet.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But the skill level is there. Like Mo 3.
Is it because he hasn't met the right person?
Happy birthday to Mo 3, by the way, man. Mo 3 had the talent. My opinion, I believe that he was one of the best rap artists that ever come out of the city.
Right.
That's my opinion.
So
right?
do you think he
didn't get a chance to get to the level?
Do you think that's because of his network?
His network. It was because of his network.
Do you think if the people was around him was different? Do you think if the people was around Mo 3
that Mo 3 didn't see his full potential because he was still trying to be
because of his network.
Because his network. You just said it's
because of his network.
So his network didn't allow him to progress the way that he needed.
So let me just ask you this then. So we all done been around people that's getting money.
Right.
If your skill set don't match they grind, you not even gonna be in a circle. So if you ain't got the skill sets, how do you even get around the right type of network?
Not about that. Did you ask questions while you was in that circle?
That's right.
But how do you even get to that circle? Like, so
I get what he's saying.
You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm a rapper, right? And I say I want to get around y'all all execs, but y'all saying we only mess with the people who can really rap.
Right.
But me, I really can't rap. I just think I can rap. If my skill set not there, then I can't even get around the people to even elevate me to that next level. You see what I'm saying?
I think you can.
It's about the questions. You got to ask the questions.
I think you can because how many we can probably name.
You know how many rooms I done been in? You like let's just be clear. Most people don't know that I was married. Then when they find out who I was married to, they be like, fuck? How did I not know this? Like you just did. You didn't know who I was married to, but you know who I was married to very, very well. It depends on how bad you want something. So if you want it bad enough, you're going to put yourself in a room. You're going to put yourself around the people. You're going to ask the right questions. You're going to study up on what you know. Even if you don't have the skill set right now, you're going to find a way.
But that's still developing skill set.
No, but you're developing it.
You're still developing skill set.
Right. But again, it's your network. So you know how many mentors you got to find?
The network guides you to the skill set.
Yeah.
You find the mentors in your network. You find the people already doing it. You do your own research. You ask your own questions. Most people don't know what the fuck I do. Did y'all know what the fuck I did when y'all met me?
No, we met. No,
and then you found out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So you have to want it bad enough, put yourself in the position for it in order to obtain it. So that requires having that network. Because you can, I got a PhD in YouTube and a master's degree in Google. But none of that shit applied until I went and found the people in that network and I asked the questions because I learned from their failures so that I didn't make those same mistakes over.
Right.
And I made my own new mistakes because they already had told me how they failed.
Facts.
That's right.
That's what's up. All right, last question. All right. You can't be successful without sacrificing something.
True.
Truth or cap?
True.
You can't.
You cannot be successful without sacrificing something.
I think we all live in that right now.
Right.
Everybody in this room done lost some sleep. They're trying to get up and go be successful.
No, for sure.
I agree.
We done lost some money investments.
That's right.
Because entrepreneurs ain't number professional risk takers.
That's it.
I like
we done lost some sleep. We done lost some bonds and some times with like family and kids because we trying to be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on now. We here
Our
now.
kids at home right now somewhere watching TV on the internet, on the phone, somewhere, you know what I mean? And we out here, trying to make a wave.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Whether if it's a little bit of camera time, exposure, views, clicks, or likes, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, that's why we do it.
Thanks.
The reason why we do a lot of the things is because our kids, and that be our motivation.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? It's something behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to sacrifice something.
Thanks.
Time is money.
And time is the one thing.
And one thing about time is,
time,
unlike anything else, you can't get it back.
Right.
It always
so that's the most thing that you're sacrificing though. So why not make that time work for you?
So I think even with that, they go back to the work-life balance. To me, I think that's why I say it's cap. It ain't no work-life balance because sometimes, especially it's a time and a place for everything. I feel like, especially in the beginning stages, there is no such thing as work. Like you got to be on the grind for them at least that first year. I say the first year.
3.
The only reason why I tell you that is because when you become in business, you start developing. You older now, so you'll see that you have a family. So that work-life balance don't be worth every damn dollar.
Right.
So me pumping till I made $100K, $200K, and it's gonna sacrifice my family. It's gonna sacrifice being away from my woman. I had to learn that. I'm divorced now, but I had to realize that because you were pouring so much into the club, you going 6 days a week. You wanted to be crown holders to be this goddamn big, and just ready to sacrifice your whole family.
Man, we're gonna have to have a conversation. Man, shit.
Hey, you remember?
That's a conversation because I'm divorced too, and my entrepreneurship played a part.
So she said, "Hey, would you choose me or would you choose the club?" I chose the
club. Damn. Okay, so hold on. So we did have one more on there. So money really does buy happiness.
No, it doesn't. No. I'm gonna tell you.
I think it do. I think it do.
Michael Jackson and Prince wasn't happy when they passed away.
Man, they spend on the wrong thing.
Money give you happy. Money give you way more happy moments.
It give you way more experiences.
Come on.
Elvis Presley had all that money. He was snizzing on coke.
He was happy though.
He was happy off that coke.
Money don't make you happy.
I don't think money make you happy.
The experience.
But money can buy you some experience. Like, if I ain't lying, man.
Buy you some experiences
if every
to lead
month
to happiness.
I try to get me a massage, not because I just want to get a massage, but it's just like I know that I be stressed. I remember times when I ain't had no money to get a massage every month, and I be stressed.
And you got a friend that own a massage, a med spa. Ain't that crazy?
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, he did shot himself in the foot.
I did,
you know
but it helps me though. You know what I'm saying? But think when I didn't have the money to do it. Man, I used to be going like, and people used to tell, I remember this, I worked with this lady, she was like, every month, I get my hair done, I get my nails done, I get a massage, and I do Pilates. And I'm like, dang, she do that every single month. But how she able to do it? She got the money to do that.
Right.
She come to work, she happy, she laughing, she feeling good.
Right.
So it's like, if you didn't have the money to do that kind of stuff,
you wouldn't be happy.
It wouldn't bring you at least some level of happiness.
It's gonna bring you some happy experiences.
Some happy experiences.
It's not genuine. I think this is my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know people that got money and still miserable. Misery loves company.
Suicide rate.
Rich people kill themselves all the time.
Suicide rate is the highest among
more money, more problems.
That's a fake.
Boy, P Diddy was happy having a free call though. P Diddy was happy.
He was happy for a minute.
He was happy for a long. P Diddy was happy for a long.
It was some people that were happy for a minute. I ain't saying I
thought he was happy.
Man, he was happy. He was happy, enjoying himself.
The man can't be happy if he over there trying to have sex with little kids.
Man, evil.
Man, he trying to have sex with Justin Bieber.
Yeah, now that's great. Now with the kids stuff, now outside the kids stuff, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's different.
That probably made him happy with some demons.
That might have made him happy.
Man, you not happy, dog. You over there forcing sexual activity on people.
Yeah, but look, man. So look, man.
You hurt people, hurt others.
Nah, that's a fake, man. Well, look, man. We about to get up out of here, man. This has been a good show, man. Like I said again, we appreciate y'all for coming through. Once again, we want to give a shout out to HLP Credit Solutions. Hey, if you need your credit fix, hit up HLP Credit Solutions. Use the code CIBR. Get a free consultation. Like always, want to give a shout out to MZ Studios. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. This is your boy D, the Motivator.
King Mozzie in the building, man. Shout out to YK1K2, man, for keeping us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Fly all the time, bro. Y'all already know what it is, man. But make sure y'all stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. Comment down below, man. Let us know what y'all think. Make sure y'all check out the sports channel dropping every Tuesday. And stay tuned because we do have 2 other channels that are coming soon. We got one dropping next month. Y'all stay tuned for that. We'll let y'all know closer when details get finalized for that. And then we got some coming up around holiday season. So like October, November. Y'all stay tuned, man. But with that being said, man, we are out.